I'd just finished at City College doing a year's worth of acting and thought, what if I don't get cast or can't get in anything? So I thought if I go and learn to make films, I can make films, put myself in it.
I came to the mill because I was fascinated by it, and I wanted to do a little feature on what goes on in the mill, which I did do, and it's still there somewhere. And I wanted to do something about creative industries in Salford. And while I was there, and I did actually interview Alison Surtees, and she actually said after it, she said, Tony, why have you never thought about doing this seriously? And I hadn't really. I was just kind of like running around enjoying it, and I thought if it gets too serious I might not enjoy it anymore. So, but then I went away and I thought, because it's Alison and because it's a good thing, and I thought I would learn something out of it, I decided to, yeah, I'll do this.
I've been working with Chris for probably just about a year now, and absolutely loved it. I mean, I was like really at a loose end when I first got involved with him, because I'd been a photographer for 15 years and my business just went belly up, because I moved abroad and like everything fell apart, I fell apart, and it took me like a good few years to sort of get back on my feet again. And a big part of that process was sort of finding out about Chris, who sort of through doing these projects has sort of built up my confidence again and, you know, made me a much better, happier person.
Just come out of this relationship. Through that relationship, I'd really lost all of my friends. I'd lost all of my connections because I just wasn't allowed to have any. And your self-esteem gets so low as well that even then, when you want to kind of, or you feel that you might have a chance of kind of like starting friendships or renewing old friendships, you just don't feel capable of it. You know, so the big thing for me was the idea of doing something creative that I'd always, ever since I was a kid, I'd always craved. There was some part of me that wanted to try that. And the other side of it was just that it was because it was really good to be around people, which I hadn't been for a long time.
I found them very patient and understanding, because I got a lot of help with the camera because the buttons are small. Because I can't see them, I got help with that. So they're very helpful.
It took me off the sick. I was on the sick for depression prior to coming on the course, so yeah, employed me. It allowed me to make a difference to a lot of other people's lives, which in turn has made a difference to my life, yeah.
This project, what where I am involved, just this energy, this support for people, for Chris, and for people who is involved with me together, just make me confident.
We learned everything from, as well as personal skills. There was loads and loads of personal skills, getting on with people, with working as a group, dealing with everybody's thoughts, disagreements, you know, but also right from scratch, from learning how to turn on the camera, right through to, obviously, like I was saying, I went on to do a progression group with Chris, and you know, we did the filming side of things, we've done the editing side of things, we did script writing.
The first one we did, Two Hats, basically about two bullies from high school. We did a school reunion, and it was a bit of a setup really. Them two got put in a room on their own, locked in, and this guy was like, I won't say torture, he was like bullying them back, but they didn't know who it was.
Like we made all our own props, and it was like Blue Peter. We just came up with the most bizarre things. I made a chainsaw out of an old cardboard box and a load of polystyrene, I don't know, I think it was some packaging that I had, and a hose out of my Hoover, and kind of glued it and stuck it together. And we only needed it for a silhouette, but it was something, I mean, I hadn't done anything like that since I was 9 at school.
Totally loved it. I mean, it was sort of my initial idea as well, which was like a great sort of boost to my confidence, because they sort of went with my idea of sort of doing this sort of spoof, sort of semi-silent, sort of very film noir type sort of vampire sort of movie. And a lot of the ideas that I sort of initially sort of came up with ended up in the sort of final film.
Split is basically about an insomniac who wants to be Batman, but then keeps like passing out, and then he comes round and he finds all this stuff in his shed, which leads to these murders that have been happening. So he automatically thinks he's the murderer.
I play this film, you know, I have role in film. I'm a detective and somebody, policeman, and but I'm also horrible killer, serial killer, you know. I'm just not happy, you know.
After I'd done the course, and I did have no aspirations whatsoever to do any writing or to do any acting or getting involved in any other way except learning how to use the cameras and editing. And I come away with so much more than that. I mean, I did do acting. They talked me into it. It was probably my own fault as well, because the character that I wrote for ourselves, we all wrote our own characters. There's only me who could have done it, because it was like me if I hadn't have gone down a certain path, you know. It was like, I even grew a moustache for it. Now that was bad. Anyway, so it gave me lots of confidence in that. When I look back at it now, sometimes I could, you know, a lot of people say they'd cringe. I'm still quite proud of that project.
The programme that I did, Fireguard, they used the camera and they're chuffed about that. I think it's the headphones that they like wearing. So, yeah, I don't think it stops anyone, really. Just people with disabilities or no people with disabilities.
Just meeting people, you know, sort of gives you sort of confidence, and it gives you a sense of hope, I suppose.
For somebody who couldn't go out to Tesco's to get milk for 3 days, to now, I mean, I still have bad times, but at least even in the bad times now, I know that I've got something. It's like a light at the end of the tunnel now. It's like I've got something that I want to get back out there for. I've got something that I want to get out, to be involved, and that's pretty special.
If you coming here, not have money, not have a job, not have you know, many things, you are confident down. This is natural, you know, absolutely. So what I am not important, but this project say, oh yes, you are important, and what you are is important. And I am again confident man, and I say thank you for this, what doing this for me.
My son was dead proud of me when I did that. He saw it and he was like, "Well, Dad, I didn't know you could do anything like that." I said, "Neither did I." But my son was very proud of me.
I'd say with the fact that before I did this, I had nothing to do, so I was just going around causing havoc everywhere, which put strain on mine and my dad's relationship. So then when I started doing this, I settled down a lot more, started like being a lot more calmer, which sort of helped me and my dad out a bit more. We started talking more, managed to speak to him more about like my mum and that. So it sort of like brought me round. So me and my dad are like really, really close now. I want my daddy to pieces.
There isn't many opportunities really, is there? It's one of them worlds that you either go out and get or you don't have, you know what I mean? So no, there hasn't been a hell of a lot of opportunities. I think this is one of the first opportunities that's been on a plate, really.
It makes you feel like you're part of a community, you know what I mean? Like a sort of creative community, and I just think it's, well, obviously I want to be involved, so it's sort of good for my benefit and for other people who have been involved with this in the filmmaking things. It sort of gives them a sense that, you know, there is more than just this one project. It's not the end of everything after that. It's finished.
If I had to say 5 life-changing moments, times in my life, the last year, and especially, you know, doing that creative industries in Salford, it's definitely life-changing in the way that your life's never going to be the same after that, to be quite honest, because you know, you learn so much.
I think that's the good thing about it, really, that it doesn't end, because I think it'd be pretty pointless if you did a course and it just ended and it didn't get you anywhere. Whereas Chris, you can follow on, do a progression course. They can help you with all sorts of things, really, like try and get you into radio, photography. No, it doesn't stop, it's still there for you.